Alright, let's settle this once and for all because this debate has been raging for years. Is Christina Ricci still the ultimate Wednesday Addams, or has Jenna Ortega completely stolen her spooky, sarcastic crown? Now, don't get me wrong, both of these ladies have absolutely slayed as the iconic goth queen, but the question remains, who truly owns the role? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the eerie world of Wednesday Addams, her past, her present, and the actresses who brought her to life in ways that left us all snapping our fingers. Cue the Addams Family theme song. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, are you Team Ricci or Team Ortega, or maybe you can't even choose? Let's hear it, because this one's gonna get intense. Let's go. Before we get into the showdown between Christina Ricci and Jenna Ortega, let's take a moment to talk about why Wednesday Addams is such an icon. Seriously, how many characters can boast a legacy that spans nearly 9 decades? It all started in 1938 when Charles Addams first introduced the Addams Family in his darkly humorous New Yorker comic strips. And right from the start, Wednesday stood out. Her gothic charm, biting wit, and love for all things macabre made her unforgettable. She wasn't just any ordinary girl, she was a rebel against societal norms, a character who celebrated individuality in the most gloriously creepy way. Now, fast forward to the 1964 TV series, where Lisa Loring brought Wednesday to life on screen for the first time. Her Wednesday was a sweet yet slightly sinister little girl with a love for spiders and headless dolls. And while Lisa set the stage, the character's evolution had only just begun. Over the years, Wednesday appeared in animated series, feature films, and even a Broadway musical. But here's the thing, no matter the version, she's always been the same at her core, darkly hilarious, fiercely intelligent, and unapologetically herself. And that's why Wednesday Addams has become so much more than just a character. She's a symbol, a goth icon, a feminist trailblazer, and honestly, the kind of person you'd want to be friends with if you could survive her dry humor. But here's the real question, who's portrayed her best? Christina Ricci dominated the 90s with her pitch-perfect performance. But Jenna Ortega, oh, she brought a whole new vibe to the Netflix series that had us hooked from episode 1. So, let's dive in and find out what makes each of these performances so legendary. Alright, goth fans, grab your poison tea and sharpen your sarcasm, we're about to get serious. Next stop, Christina Ricci's Wednesday. Let's go. Christina Ricci. The queen of deadpan, the high priestess of sarcasm, and the original goth icon for an entire generation. When she stepped into the role of Wednesday Addams in 1991's The Addams Family, she wasn't just acting, she was living the part. From her very first scene, where she experiments on Pugsley, we knew we were in for something special. I mean, is there a God? That line alone cemented her as the ultimate Wednesday. She didn't just deliver her lines, she dropped them like goth poetry, each one laced with razor-sharp wit and just the tiniest hint of menace. What makes Ricci's Wednesday so unforgettable? It's the way she balances chaos and composure. Whether she's casually threatening her brother with medieval torture devices or declaring, "I'm dressed as a homicidal maniac, they look just like everyone else," she somehow makes you laugh, gasp, and cheer all at the same time. How does she do that? But you know where she truly shines, the sequel, Addams Family Values. This is the film where Wednesday goes from being a standout character to a full-fledged cultural phenomenon. And let's talk about that summer camp storyline. Remember when they tried to make Wednesday wear pastels and sing Kumbaya, and she just stood there, looking like she'd rather die than clap along? That's peak Wednesday energy. And then, there's the Thanksgiving play. Hands down, one of the greatest moments in 90s cinema. When Wednesday stands up, delivers that fiery speech about colonialism, and leads the campers in a revolt. Chills. Absolute chills. That scene wasn't just hilarious, it was iconic. It was rebellious. It was the moment Wednesday Addams became a legend. What Ricci did with Wednesday was nothing short of genius. She made her funny, terrifying, and even a little vulnerable, all without breaking that deadpan exterior. It's no wonder she defined the character for 30 years. Ricci's Wednesday wasn't just a performance, it was a blueprint. She set the standard for everything Wednesday Addams could and should be. But now, we've got a new contender for the Wednesday crown. Jenna Ortega has entered the chat, and trust me, she's not messing around. Could she actually dethrone Ricci as the definitive Wednesday? Let's find out. Enter Jenna Ortega, the newest face of Wednesday Addams and the star of Netflix's smash hit series, Wednesday. Now, taking on a role so deeply tied to Christina Ricci was no small feat. But Ortega, she didn't just take the baton, she sprinted with it, danced with it, and then added a few homicidal cello solos for good measure. From the very first episode, it's clear Ortega's Wednesday is cut from a slightly different cloth. She's still the queen of morbid humor and sarcasm, but this time, there's a deeper dive into her psyche. Ortega's Wednesday isn't just navigating life as the spooky outsider, she's also solving mysteries, confronting her heritage, and, dare I say it, growing emotionally. What makes Jenna Ortega's portrayal so fresh is how she balances the classic Wednesday traits like her unflinching stare and biting wit with new layers of complexity. She's independent but not invincible, sarcastic but not heartless. You see glimpses of vulnerability, especially in her relationships with Enid and her parents. It's like she's saying, yes, I'm Wednesday Addams, but I'm also my own person. Now, let's talk about that viral dance scene. You know the one. Ortega choreographed it herself, blending gothic elegance with awkward brilliance. It became an instant cultural moment, memes, TikTok trends, you name it. This wasn't just a dance, it was Ortega putting her stamp on the character in a way no one will ever forget. Ortega's Wednesday also brings a modern sensibility to the role. She's not just navigating the Addams family's eccentricities, she's dealing with modern teen struggles, like friendship, fitting in, and forging her own identity. And let's not forget the supernatural mystery at the heart of the show. Ortega takes Wednesday from quirky outsider to full-fledged detective, and it's so satisfying to watch. Here's the thing, Jenna Ortega didn't try to replace Christina Ricci. Instead, she honored the legacy while crafting a version of Wednesday that speaks to a new generation. It's darker, more nuanced, and, dare I say, even more relatable in today's world. But the question remains, does Ortega's Wednesday surpass Ricci's, or do they exist as two equally brilliant takes on an iconic character? Let's break it all down in the final showdown. Now, let's get into the ultimate battle of the Wednesdays. Christina Ricci and Jenna Ortega both brought their unique magic to the character, but how do their portrayals stack up against each other? Let's break it down, starting with tone and personality. Christina Ricci's Wednesday is sharp, unapologetically morbid, and always one step ahead of everyone around her. She's the OG queen of darkness, using her razor-sharp wit to dominate every scene. But there's an underlying simplicity to her Wednesday. She's delightfully straightforward in her disdain for normalcy. Jenna Ortega, on the other hand, leans into complexity. Her Wednesday is just as morbid and clever, but there's a vulnerability and depth we don't often see in Ricci's version. Ortega's Wednesday isn't just rebelling against the world, she's trying to understand it, and maybe even herself. This makes her more introspective and emotionally layered. Both versions of Wednesday are masters of sarcasm and side eyes, but their motivations differ. Ricci's Wednesday thrives on chaos for the sake of chaos. She's a purist in her disdain for societal norms. Ortega's Wednesday, however, has a mission. She's a detective, a protector of her friends, and someone who very secretly wants to find where she belongs. Let's talk humor. Ricci's Wednesday is all about the punchlines. She delivers each zinger with precision and just the right amount of menace. Ortega's humor is a bit more situational, often tied to the absurdity of the supernatural world she's navigating. Both are hilarious, but in entirely different ways. Then, there's the cultural impact. Ricci's portrayal cemented Wednesday Addams as a gothic icon for decades, while Ortega's brought her back into the spotlight for a whole new generation. Jenna Ortega even added her own moves literally. That viral dance scene, a perfect blend of gothic weirdness and modern flair. Here's the bottom line, Ricci's Wednesday set the standard, and Ortega's redefined it. Both portrayals are brilliant in their own right, but they serve different purposes. Ricci gave us the classic Wednesday we'll never forget, while Ortega's is the modern evolution we didn't know we needed. So, whether you prefer Ricci's mischievous chaos or Ortega's nuanced depth, one thing is clear: Wednesday Addams remains as iconic as ever. But which version is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. When Christina Ricci joined the cast of Netflix's Wednesday, fans were ecstatic. Her role as Marilyn Thornhill was a clever nod to her iconic past, and seeing her share the screen with Jenna Ortega felt like the ultimate passing of the torch. Ricci's presence in the series wasn't just a nostalgic cameo. It symbolized the continuity of Wednesday's legacy, a seamless bridge between the past and the present. And let's not forget how Ricci brought her A-game to her role, proving she's as captivating now as she was in the 90s. In interviews, Christina Ricci has praised Jenna Ortega's performance, calling it inspired and brilliant. She acknowledged that Ortega's Wednesday is something fresh, unique, and entirely her own while still capturing the essence of the character Ricci first helped popularize. This sense of mutual respect between Ricci and Ortega is more than just heartwarming, it's a testament to the timelessness of Wednesday Addams. As Ricci herself said, Jenna has made Wednesday her own, and that's exactly what the character deserves. Through her role as Thornhill, Ricci didn't just step back into the world of Wednesday Addams, she handed the reins to a new generation. And in doing so, she reminded us all that while characters evolve, their essence can endure. So, while Jenna Ortega may now be the face of Wednesday Addams, Christina Ricci will forever be the foundation. Together, they've crafted a legacy that ensures Wednesday remains a cultural icon for decades to come. Alright, folks, this is the big question, isn't it? Who truly owns the title of the definitive Wednesday Addams, Christina Ricci or Jenna Ortega? Let's be honest, this isn't an easy question to answer. Ricci's Wednesday is untouchable in its deadpan perfection, a masterclass in comedic timing and macabre brilliance. Her performance has been cherished for over 30 years, becoming a nostalgic hallmark for generations. I mean, who doesn't think of that Thanksgiving play scene when you hear her name? On the other hand, Jenna Ortega didn't just step into the role, she redefined it. Ortega's Wednesday brought a modern edge to the character. She's not just a creepy kid, she's a teenager with complex emotions, a curious mind, and an evolving arc that spans an entire series. Her Wednesday dances, investigates mysteries, and navigates relationships, giving us a depth we've never seen before. So, who's better? Well, here's the thing, it's like asking who's the best Batman or Spider-Man. Is it Keaton or Pattinson, Maguire or Holland? The truth is, both Christina Ricci and Jenna Ortega have given us Wednesday Addams in ways that fit their ears perfectly. Ricci's Wednesday captured the absurdity of being a goth kid in a normal world, all wrapped in the campy brilliance of the 90s. Ortega's Wednesday, meanwhile, feels like a hero for today, a strong, independent, and fiercely loyal teenager who can still eviscerate you with one icy stare. It's not about replacing one with the other, it's about embracing both. Ricci gave us the foundation, the gothic queen who turned Wednesday into a cultural phenomenon. Ortega took that legacy and showed us that Wednesday can be modern, relatable, and still oh so darkly hilarious. So, my final verdict, they're both definitive Wednesdays. Ricci and Ortega have each immortalized the character in their own unique way. And honestly, that's the best gift to us fans, two flawless versions of the same iconic girl in black. Still, let's be real, whoever your favorite Wednesday is, we're all winners, because this character just keeps getting better. Now it's your turn, my ghoulishly delightful audience. Are you Team Ricci, Team Ortega, or are you like me and just happy to bask in the spooky brilliance of them both? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next dive into pop culture debates. Until then, stay weird, stay wonderful, and remember Wednesday is forever. And there you have it, our deep dive into the two unforgettable Wednesdays. But now, it's time to hear from you. Who do you think captured the essence of Wednesday Addams best? Was it Christina Ricci, with her classic deadpan delivery, or Jenna Ortega, with her modern twist on the character? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you grow up with Ricci's Wednesday, or did Ortega's version win you over? Or maybe you're torn like me and just appreciate both for their unique brilliance. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, it really helps the channel grow. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into your favorite characters, shows, and movies. Also, check out these other videos for more creepy, kooky, mysterious, and spooky content. Until next time, stay weird, stay wonderful, and keep loving all things Wednesday.